Shalom, all praises, glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, where we learn this truth. Peace, salutation, blessings, and mercies to the elect scattered all throughout the globe. Yahweh is the name of the Most High, who the world calls God, Jehovah, or Yahweh. His true name is Yahweh, meaning He is. He is to be. He exists. All right? Bahashem is Hebrew for in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, Yeshua, any other false name. His true name is Yahweh Shai, meaning He deliver or He's Savior. Us so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we are the Israelites, the biblical descendants of Jacob. The so-called white man are he's Esau, all right? The so-called white people are the Edomites, the biblical descendants of Edom, also known as the wicked, also known as the devil, and Satan's physical counterpart in this earth. And we're living in the last days. We're living in very prophetic times. And that's what this short lesson will be dealing with, prophecy. All right, it'll be straight to the point based off of a couple screenshots I took from articles. Lord willing, it's edifying. So this first one I got, it just came out today, some hours ago. It says dangerous fungal illnesses, dangerous fungal illness rapidly spreading across country, doctors warn. All right, and what's interesting about this is in that new series on HBO Max, it was a video game, but they just made it a TV series. It's called The Last of Us. All right, and it's a series, or it was originally a video game about a zombie apocalypse. All right, but within that first episode, they expose that the breakout was due to a fungal illness. All right, it was a fungus that spread to other humans and then basically took over their minds and they became zombies. Now, the interesting thing is they went very into detail about what fungus does, all right, how it manipulates insects, animals, and can, as we're reading in this article, infect humans. All right, and I just saw a TikTok of how, that first episode, when they had the scientists on there going in about the fungus is very real. All right, and what they were saying in that episode was what fungus does is it takes over the host. All right, so the host will be, the insect, animal, or human that the fungus gets into. And the difference between a virus, and fungus is fungus won't kill you. Fungus will keep you alive. All right, and how it keeps you alive is something, I forget exactly the name of it, but they use it for penicillin. And what it does is it keeps your body from decomposing. So unlike a virus, fungus won't kill you, but what it'll do is it'll take full control over your brain, your nervous system, and get you acting out of character and to get you to do what it wants you to do. All right, and then multiply itself and spread to other hosts. All right. So reading a little bit of this article, It says doctors are warning of a dangerous fungal illness rapidly spreading across the country, especially affecting those living or visiting the California and Arizona areas. If you think it sounds like something from the cutting room floor of The Last of Us series, where a parasitic fungal infection devastates mankind, there are some very base level similarities. And we know that Esau does predictive programming. All right. I've been mentioning of recent a lot of these things that we're seeing in so-called sci-fi movies and television shows we're getting ready to see in real life. Because this is the time of Jacob's trouble, a time like never before. All right. So this is prophecy. All right. You think the whole C-19 plan thing was something. All right. And that changed this whole society, that C-19 thing. All right. How much more of these things coming down the pipe that we haven't seen yet? Because what Yahushua says here in this prophecy in Matthew 24:7, he says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. All right. And people are rising up against each other, getting ready for race wars, class wars, sex wars. These nations, these kingdoms are rising up against each other, gearing up for World War III, flexing their nuclear might. So we're in the time of this prophecy. It says, and there shall be famines. All right. A great famine like never before is being prepared. All right. Hyperinflation, a complete global economic collapse. All right. It says, and pestilences. Now, when you go into this word pestilences, first of all, it's plural. So it's not talking about just one thing. There's going to be many. All right. And the word pestilence means plagues, but even more specific, illnesses, diseases, sicknesses. All right. So there's going to be many pestilences. All right. And this, what they're talking about in this article, can very well be one of the major ones that's going to kill a lot of people. But, pertaining to the fungal, illness, it actually won't kill people. It'll just take over their brains and control them, have them all bugged out like them zombies you see in those movies and in TV series. All right. So pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. And there's earthquakes every second of the day all over the globe in places that there's not usually earthquakes. He goes on to say all these are the beginning of sorrows. All right. So, hey, we are in the time of prophecy. And to grab a precept, we'll go into Ezekiel, the 7th chapter, dealing with pestilences. Ezekiel 7, because the Lord is going to send major illnesses and diseases out here that take out a lot of people. Right? We know this for a fact. So Ezekiel 7 and verse 3. And let me jump to the 6th verse, or the 5th verse actually. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai power. In evil, and only evil, behold, is come. And we bring out all the time that the word evil means a bad time. All right. Eve meaning time or age, and ill meaning bad. All right. A very bad time like never before is coming to this earth. It says an end is come. An end of what? An end to this way of living as you know it. An end to this corrupt society. An end to the comfort of you American citizens. All right. Which America is Babylon the Great. The end is come. It watcheth for thee. Behold, it is come. All right. Now we're in the time of Jacob's trouble. This time like never before. We're in the beginning of it. And soon and suddenly it's going to hit the peak. where Yahushua said back in Matthew 24, where men's hearts are going to fail them for fear, all right, for seeing the things that's going to be happening in this earth. People going to be just dropping dead of heart attacks and falling out of strokes, all right, based off of what we're going to see out here. But I want to jump down to the point dealing with pestilence in verse 15. And it reads, the sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. So there's going to be martial law. It's going to get so bad, it's going to be martial law in these streets. It's going to be UN blue helmets patrolling, raiding houses. They're going to be locking cities down. All right. You won't be able to go to the next city. All right. And it says the sword is without. So outside of the city is going to be military troops waiting to gun you down if you try to leave. It says in the pestilence, all right, the sicknesses, the diseases, the plagues, and the famine within. All right, so people in the cities are going to be starved out. It's going to be all type of disease and illnesses. It's going to be crazy. It says, he that is in the field shall die with the sword. All right, because you got these people who, plan on living off the grid. Those preppers, right? Those red pill preppers that got a house or a cabin somewhere out in the wood. All right, Esau gonna straight up kill them. All right, with his military troops, whether he drone strikes them or raise them, however he does it, and he's gonna take all their goods that they stored up. All right, or those goods that they stored up, like the scriptures say, is gonna be for the elect that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is going to protect during this crazy, chaotic time. Continuing on, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. So the city, these major cities, is going to be the worst places to be, because it's going to be nothing but diseases, illnesses, all right, unsanitary conditions, because it's not going to be no running water, no plumbing, no electricity. Right? It ain't going to be none of that. It ain't going to be no food inside the grocery stores. All right? So what does that breed? Pestilence and famine. All right? So that concludes the point on that, on the pestilence. Now, another article I took a screenshot of is this. All right? And all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai that this is at the forefront, because you got, wicked Israelites out there who mock and scoff at the prophecy of the mark of the beast and say it's all type of stuff other than what it is. The mark of the beast is the RFID microchip, man. There's nothing in between. There's nothing outside of that. It's not that and something else. No, it's that microchip. All right, which is also known as that time where it's made mandatory is known as the hour of temptation. And only the elect is going to endure that and be delivered from it. All right, but this is what it says is Houston pet owners must now microchip their animals to avoid a fine. All right, so just suddenly, out the blue, out of nowhere, pretty much without warning, this city of Houston, which is in the state of Texas, just mandated. All right, that's what this is, a decree, an unrighteous decree. It's a mandate that all pet owners must microchip their animals, their pets. All right, or they're going to get in trouble if they don't. They're going to pay a fine. Now, this is a prelude. They starting with the animals. But one day, very soon, when we wake up, the microchip, which is the mark of the beast, is going to be mandated for all humans. All right? So we'll end this lesson off with that prophecy in Revelation 13. Showing you that we're in the time of these major prophecies. All out hell and chaos, Jacob's trouble breaking loose, with the sword, famine, pestilence, right? The hour of temptation, that microchip being made mandatory, and World War III. We're in these times. This is Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all. The he is the so-called white man Esau Edom through his beast system. All right? This system that he's implemented all over the earth. All right? And that beast, that system, it was the Roman Empire that fell. They controlled the known world at that time. But it fell. All right? And this deadly wound was healed. It was revived through this system you see today in NATO and the EU. NATO is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and the EU is the European Union. All right, NATO is the military, the force aspect of the beast, and the EU is the financial aspect that backs it up. Now, all of those, what composes the beast is those Edomite nations. They're all Edomites. All right, so that's the he. It says, and he causeth all. All right, everybody, even your pets, even your children. Let's read on. It says both small and great. All right, from infants just born to old people on their deathbed. Everybody gonna have to get this chip. Rich and poor. All right, millionaires to Jakes living in low income areas to homeless people. It says free and bond. Those in prison and in concentration camps or whatever, and those out roaming free in society, to receive a mark. All right, and that mark is the RFID microchip, the charagma. All right, chi-size stigma, implant in their right hand or in their foreheads. It says, in that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. Now, what's the importance of buying and selling? That's how you function in a society. So if you don't get down with this chip, there's not going to be a way for you to live in this man's society. But us that are of the hopeful elect, we know that this is not our rest. We already departed spiritually and mentally from this society. All right. It says, or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right. Now that represents Esau Edom himself, the so-called white man. But when you go deeper into it, the guy, which was an Edomite who created the universal barcode that you see on every product, it contains those numbers in that barcode 666. Right. And then let me continue reading. Verse 18, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. All right. And again, that represents Esau, Edom in general. But the actual man that came up with the universal barcode, which every barcode has 666 in it, his name is Joseph Laurer. All right. But let me find out. I'm missing one name. All right, I know it's Joseph something Laurer. Universal barcode. Let's type that in like that. George. Okay, George is his first name. Joseph is his middle name, and Laurer is his last name. Now, each of those three names he has contains 6 letters. All right. It is the number of a man. It says, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, which is Old English for 666. All right. 666. All right. So we are in the time of prophecy. And as it says elsewhere in Ezekiel, when these things come to pass, you're going to know that a prophet or prophets have been among you. Because for years, the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone have been preaching these things. And now we're seeing them in the forefront of the news. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well. Peace and mercy to the elect. Shalom.